In today's video, I want to share how I have sold over $750,000 worth of products on Amazon in the last year. That's over 8,000 products, and how I'm doing it without ever touching the product, without physically seeing it, physically listing it, physically shipping, and I'm not drop shipping. So let me dive into this and I'll share with you exactly what I am doing. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Steve. I've been reselling products on Amazon for over 10 years. Again, like I said, in the last year, I've sold over $750,000 worth of revenue of products, like my total sales, over 8,000 actual items that I've sold. These are books, DVDs, electronics, tools, toys, board games, video games, CDs, even some records and cassettes. The list goes on and on. But you're probably wondering, how am I doing this without actually physically touching it and I'm not drop shipping? Well, first off, let me tell you, because I know everyone's going to ask, what's your profit? My profit typically comes to about 30%. That's my profit margin. So for every $100,000 worth of products I sell, after Amazon fees, after paying my team, after prep, after all expenses, on $100,000 in sales, it's about $30,000 profit. Again, after that, you still have to reinvest money into the business to buy new products, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, it comes to around 30% profit. So when I say $700,000 in sales, it's not like I'm putting all of that in my pocket. I'm not getting mega rich doing this, but I'm, making multiple six figures per year doing this, not having to touch the product. So let me explain exactly what I do. So I sell on Amazon FBA. That stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. So we buy all the products, we sell them on Amazon, and when they get to Amazon, the employees will essentially store it on their shelves in their warehouses, and when it sells, Amazon will pick, pack, and ship the item to the customer. FBA, Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. So Amazon has all of my products, and then they fulfill the products to the customers. So they will ship them out to the customer. They'll deal with any returns, refunds, customer service. I mean, essentially, Amazon does all of that. Now, it is, it's not free. It comes at an expense. And that's part of why, every $100,000 worth of items that I sell, I'm only making around 30,000 profit because, fees for Amazon with shipping and everything comes to around 35%. I would say closer to 30%. And then I have cost of goods, which could be another, 30% plus. It depends. Some items I might spend $50 on and sell it for $100. So the cost of goods is higher. Some products I might spend $25 and sell it for $100. My average selling price over the last year is a little over $90. So, more often than not, I'm spending $40 bucks, $45, sometimes $30, and selling it for $100. So there's obviously fees, and I have a team that I have to pay. I have 2 virtual assistants in the Philippines who source items 100% for me. I have somebody who helps me to reprice all of my items, and I typically have around 500 to 600 products in my inventory at any given time. So I don't have thousands and thousands of products. I'm not drop shipping. So let me explain what I do. So what I do is I buy items on ebay.com. Okay, so we buy undervalued books, DVDs, CDs, electronics, tools, toys. I've made a bunch of videos about this. If you're in my membership group, Reselling Freedom, you can check it out at resellingfreedom.com. It's only about $1 per day. Myself and 11 other coaches, we do coaching calls pretty much every single day. I mean, we do around 20 to 25 coaching calls per month. And I recently did a coaching call sharing a bunch of the items that I've sold, how I'm sourcing, and the members were able to see the exact products that I'm flipping. A lot of toys, a lot of electronics, a lot of tools, and I buy them from ebay.com. So I use a software called Replin Catcher, Replan Catcher, and essentially what this software does, there's 2 things that it does. Number one, it allows us to source directly on eBay. So it's scanning pretty much all the products on eBay and updating you every 10 minutes. So that's one way. It's called the Replin Catcher live stream. So you can pick a category like DVDs or tools, and all you have to do is plug in what ROI you want to make, profit, the sales rank, so you know how fast it's going to sell, monthly sales. You can put in the eBay seller feedback, and it'll bring you back all of the results of what's available on eBay right now. So we use the live stream to be able to source, but also what we use is a replens list. So with Replin Catcher, you could take all of your sales. So say over the last year, you've sold maybe 700 items, and maybe out of those 700 items, maybe 500 of them were really awesome. Like you made a good profit. Maybe they were selling for $40, $50 plus. And let's just say you want to be able to monitor those items on eBay when they come up at a $10 profit, at a 60% ROI. Well, you could bulk upload that entire list to Replin Catcher, which is what I've done. We have close to about 8,000 replens, but really it's not the size of your replens list that matters. I was just saying this on a coaching call. It's the quality of your replens. I'd rather have way less replens and a smaller list of maybe 300, 400, 500 that are really good versus having like 8,000 that are maybe subpar. But you got to understand, I've been doing this for almost 4 years, so I'd be crazy to not have a massive list of replens. But essentially, you could take all of those items you've sold before, or you could use Keep a Product Finder, you could storefront stalk your competitors. You could essentially take all of their products and you could filter them through Keep a Product Finder, upload it to Replin Catcher, and guess what? Replin Catcher literally monitors those items all day long, 24/7. And I mean, it's absolutely wild. There's so many amazing deals. And the cool thing about the replin feature is it'll organize all of your replens and share with you, maybe you have a specific board game that you just sold and you want to replenish your inventory. It'll share with you all of that specific ASIN, all of those board games that are available for that ASIN within your ROI and profit criteria. So replenishing your inventory is really easy. And that's what we do. We don't have 5, 10, 15 items in stock per ASIN. We're literally having 1 or 2 in stock. And when it sells, we go into Replin Catcher, look up that item, replenish it, and bada bing, bada boom, the profits are coming soon. So that's how we find the items, right? We're not just like magically, searching eBay for these deals. Replin Catcher essentially makes it a million times easier. So that's how we find the items. But now you're probably wondering, well, Steve, you said you're not drop shipping. How exactly are you selling all these products? You've sold, over 750K. I hate to say it over and over again, but I did over 8,000 products. How are you not physically touching them? Because every time I buy an item on eBay, it comes to my house and then I have to list it, prep it, all that. Well, I'm using something called a prep center. So a lot of you folks who are on the newer side, you might not know that these exist, but essentially a prep center is a third-party logistics company that allows you to ship your inventory to them. So that's the cool thing about buying items on eBay. You could do this if you're doing online arbitrage with Walmart or Target or Barnes & Noble or Kohl's, or maybe you have wholesale connections. Instead of you having those items shipped directly to your house, when my team and I buy items on eBay, we change the address from my house in Connecticut to our prep center, Little Owl Prep in Ohio. So once we buy an item on eBay, it gets redirected to the prep center. Now, the cool thing about Little Owl Prep is they have their own software and their own back-end like admin. And the cool thing is when we buy an item, all we have to do is go into Little Owl's software, add the ASIN, tell them what condition it's coming in. We put in our buy price, our selling price, and then they'll go into our Amazon account and list on our behalf. Now, prep centers, they will give you the option, some of them, to list for you like they do for me within within my account, or you can actually list them yourselves and communicate it with your prep center. And then you could save a little bit of money because it is a small fee, but I prefer to have them do it for me. So this is the workflow. We buy items, we use Replin Catcher, we buy items on eBay. We change the address from my house in Connecticut to the prep center in Ohio. And make sure if you're buying on eBay to get tax exempt, okay? Becoming tax exempt is huge because for me in Connecticut, that's gonna save me 6% in Ohio. I'm not sure what the sales tax percentage is, but you can get sales tax exempt at your place or at your prep center. You could be sales tax exempt in both. And that's the cool thing about eBay because it's one supplier. So once we buy the item, we update Little Owl Prep's software so they know what's coming in. It's called planned inventory. And the cool thing about Little Owl Prep is once all the items get shipped to them, they'll pretty much hold all your items until there's enough inventory to ship out a box, because they're not going to send one item at a time to Amazon FBA. So maybe when 30 or 40 items come in, they put together a shipment, they list on our account on our behalf. And the way they do that is we give them user permissions on Amazon. So if you've ever been wondering, like, how do you get a prep center or a virtual assistant to work on your account? You can give them user permissions through Amazon settings. Just make sure that you don't give too much leeway, because obviously, you want to protect yourself in the event that maybe something went wrong. wrong. So you can choose the specific access points that the prep center is able to access. And there's only really a couple they need to be able to list and ship on your behalf. So we buy the items, we let our prep center know it's coming by updating the software. Other prep centers will have like a Google sheet that you can update. Once they get those items, they scan them in and it will update within Little Owl Prep that they've received the items. And then when they get enough product together, they'll ship on our behalf. You might be wondering, well, how do they know what to list it at? How do they know the condition? All of that. We put it in the beginning. Like I said, it's called planned inventory. So we tell them what's coming. They scan everything in with the barcode. They find the item. They make sure it's the correct item and the correct condition. And they create shipments on my behalf. Now, the cost for this is about $1.50 per item. The cost could go up if you're dealing with bundles or dealing with like oversized items, so on and so forth, poly bags, but it's about $1.50 per item for them to do this. And the benefit is I don't have to see the products. I don't have to touch the products. I don't have to physically list the products. I don't have cardboard to be thrown away. I don't need boxes. I don't need tape. Now, of course, that $1.50 fee is making up those expenses, but it's well worth it. And that's one of the reasons this is still mega profitable for me, is because when you source from eBay and flip on Amazon, similar to thrift stores, garage sales, the margins are really, really high. And with eBay, I'm able to really have great margins because a lot of the items that we buy, about 40 to 50% of the items that we buy, we're making best offers. So if an item is for sale for $50 on eBay and I think I could sell it for $100 and maybe that's a 35% ROI, I can make a best offer for $40 and turn that 35% ROI into a 55, 65% ROI. There's millions of products on eBay available. So you never have to make an offer or buy an item at an ROI or a profit that you're not comfortable with, because there's millions of products. There is literally hundreds of thousands of products sitting on eBay right now that are like a 20% ROI that people are passing up. What do I do? What have I trained my team to do? Go in, make best offers, and not lowball eBay sellers, right? Because I came from the eBay world. I hate getting lowballed, but a lot of these eBay sellers are picking these items up for $1 or $2 or selling items from their house that they just want to get money for. And maybe these items have been sitting on eBay for 3 months at $50. I come in, offer them $40. They're happy. They get paid. I'm happy because I have a 50, 60, 70% ROI. And it's a win-win. And another cool thing about buying off of eBay is you have a lot more time and better tools at your disposal to analyze, using Keepa, using Seller Amp, really diving into the Keepa charts. Whereas when you're at a thrift store, obviously the margins are always going to be better, but you're having to rely on like Scout IQ or Scoutly. It's kind of tough to look into the Keepa charts. You don't really have enough time to analyze because your competitors are breathing down your neck. So yeah, I love flipping from eBay to Amazon, and that's how we're buying 99% of our items without physically having to see it or touch it. I started using this prep center in January. So right now it is October 22nd or 23rd. So, over 10 months I've been using them. Before that, for the first 3 years when I was doing eBay to Amazon, if you've been following me on Instagram or YouTube, I would have all the items literally show up on my front steps. I feel like my neighbors were looking at me like, this guy's a drug dealer or this guy has like a shopping addiction. But I learned a lot. It was fun. But it's well worth it spending the $1.50 per item, in my opinion, with this model, because again, I don't have to see it. I don't have to touch it. I don't have tons of boxes. The girlfriend's happy because the house isn't a mess. The garage isn't a mess. Of course, there is more trust and there are more systems and workflows that you're going to have to build. I don't recommend, starting with a prep center right off the bat. I'm very happy that I had items come to my house for an extended period of time. I wish I didn't do it for 3 years. I wish I would have done this sooner, but it was a great learning experience. But just know down the road, if you're sick and tired of touching your products, seeing your products, listing and shipping on your own, or having an employee at your house like I did, there is a way that you can do it without having all the products come to you, and that's using a prep center. So if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. If you guys want to start reselling, you want to start flipping items, definitely check out resellingfreedom.com. I'll put a link down below. It's, about $1 a day, like $1.25 per day. If you want to join, you can cancel anytime. It's resellingfreedom.com. I'm a coach in there. There's also 11 other coaches. So we have coaching calls all the time. We actually have Seth and Josiah I don't know if you know Checkmate Flips and Josiah. They both do close to 7 figures. I think Seth does over 7 figures per year with eBay to Amazon. Josiah's close. You know, obviously I'm approaching it. I'll probably hit 800-900K in 2024 with eBay to Amazon with, you know, about 30% margins, and they're very similar. Actually, Checkmate Flips, his margins are almost double mine because he's been doing merchant fulfilled. So you can also do merchant fulfilled with eBay to Amazon. But we have a ton of coaches in there, live coaching calls, a full course. We have workshops, we have guides, we have bolo lists. So definitely check it out if you're interested in learning on a budget. And with that being said, much love, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.